All righty. So, good evening and welcome. My name is JD Ross, and I'm Associate Dean of Admission here at Hamilton. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's Hamilton Hangout, Navigating Hamilton's Open Curriculum with Alex in the Alex Advising Program. So, first of all, a big congratulations on those of you who were admitted to Hamilton's class of 2025. I am really pleased that you can join us tonight, learn a little bit about the advising process at Hamilton, and specifically about our new Alex Advising Program. So Alexander Hamilton, Alex, not only our favorite founding father, the statue who stands out in front of our chapel, star of a Broadway musical, but our favorite founding father, and also an acronym for our new Alex Advise, Learn, Experience Advising Program. So tonight's goal, what we hope that you will walk away from this session with, is to give you an overview of the advising process at Hamilton, a little bit about what to expect when you get to campus. We're going to outline some of the different types of advising, the different kinds of advisors that you're going to have and that you're going to interact with during your time on College Hill. And our group of individual Alex advisors here with us tonight are going to talk about what the Alex advising process is going to look like for you. So one thing to understand before we jump into this is that Alex is it's a brand new program, and we're really excited that you, the class of 2025, will be our inaugural class. So Alex it's a coordinated network of advisors that is tailored for your academic success, for your career preparation, to focus on experiential learning and your personal growth. If you think about it, maybe in a way that Alex is kind of like the glue that kind of binds and brings together the many dozens of programs and services that Hamilton has available on campus that helps you maximize your 4 years on College Hill, right? Your education, academically, socially, holistically. It's what binds it all together. Before I introduce you to our wonderful panelists who have given up a little bit of their evening tonight to be with us, I would first like to share this video with you. It's kind of an introduction and a welcome from our president, David Whitman, about the Alex program.
Hello, everyone. I'm David Whitman, the president of Hamilton College. I wanted to say a few words about an exciting initiative here called Alex. Alex stands for Advise, Learn, Experience. It's a dedicated, personalized advising program designed to support all of our students, and especially our first-gen students, in making sure they have access to all the extraordinary resources that are available to them here at the college. Many colleges talk about doing this, but Hamilton is investing in it. We've hired an associate dean for engaged education and 8 individual Alex advisors. They're going to be with you every step of the way during your journey through Hamilton. Thank you.
All righty. So if when President Whitman was talking, you saw those little badges that kind of lit up as the little arrow pointed around to them. Those are all the different programs and things that Alex helps bring together during your time on campus. So I thought it was a pretty good way to give a kind of a high-level illustrated view of this. So without further ado, let me get into our panelists for this evening. I am very excited to have with us tonight our new Dean of Engaged Education, Kathy Wolf. Kathy, can you kind of say hello, introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your role here at Hamilton, and then bring us in and let us meet the advisors we have in the room with us tonight.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Congratulations, class of 2025. We're so excited to have you here, especially as our inaugural class of the new Alex program. So my name is Kathy Wolf. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the new Dean of Engaged Education here at Hamilton. That's a new position, and I am really new. I got here July 1st. So I am still learning the campus as well. I look forward to welcoming you to it. And coordinating the Alex initiative, bringing together advising resources, academic support, and experiential learning opportunities is, I think, the best job on campus, because what it means is, as kind of a hub program, I get to work with people across the whole campus. So I think in the last few months, I've gotten to know so many different people in so many different areas. I feel like I'm fairly knowledgeable about the campus, even though I'm pretty new. And so we're hoping that these hub advisors will help you feel that connected as well. I arrived here from the exotic locale of Lincoln, Nebraska. with my partner and my rescue cats. My son is in Kansas City. The rest of my family is out in Nebraska. So I'm looking forward to visiting them soon. Yay, vaccinations. So I will go ahead and let our first three ALEX advisors introduce themselves. You heard the president say that there will be 8 eventually. We're phasing this program in with you all as the first class, and we'll be hiring more advisors as more new students join us. So we have the inaugural 3 here, and I'm going to turn it over first to Kevin Alexander.
Hello, everyone. Congrats again. Welcome to the Hamilton family. I'm Kevin Alexander. I'm Hamilton and Opportunity Programs class of 2013. I'm currently an ALEX advisor, and I'm super excited to get to know all of you and work with you all and be a part of the ALEX team. So I'll pass it along to Janine.
Hi, I'm Janine Oliver. I am really excited to be part of the ALEX program. I have been at Hamilton for about 9 years, where I was at the Career Center for most of that time. But I got into developing ALEX at some early stages as we started thinking about how to integrate the different support and advising at the college and looked at the needs. So my background before I got to Hamilton was in special education, mental health counseling, experiential and outdoor education, and all of those things have kind of allowed me to work with students on thinking about the hidden curriculum and goal setting and group dynamics, which I think will be really central to this role working with students. I'll pass it along to Hannah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being with us here tonight. My name's Hannah Stubley. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a Hamilton alum, class of 2012. So I'm absolutely elated to be back on the Hill in this role. I was a first generation college student, and I really could have used someone like an ALEX advisor. So I'm really excited to be in this role for you all, and we look forward to meeting you one day.
Great. Thank you, all of you, for being here tonight. I also would like to give a shout out to my 3 colleagues from the admission office who are hanging out, kind of lurking in the chat tonight. We have Dean of Admission Peaches Valdez. We have Associate Dean Nikki Barron and Assistant Dean Alexa Ray. Peaches, Nikki, and Alexa will be fielding your questions in the chat. Some of them they'll be responding to directly there, and some of them they will be forwarding to me so we can get our panelists to answer them too. So don't be shy, say hello to them. If you have a question as we're talking about some things this evening, please pop it into the chat, get your question answered. That's what we are here for today. So Kathy, we've gone through some of the registration questions that we've gotten, and I think we've put together some good questions to get us started here. So I think I'm gonna kick it off and start with you and ask you, so the hallmark of the education that our students receive and really the basis of the open curriculum is that it allows our students to study what they love, right? To explore something that they're passionate about. Can you talk about how this ALEX advising program is kind of a good complement to our open curriculum here at on College Hill?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the open curriculum, right, apart from the requirements in the concentration that you choose, and some courses focused on writing and quantitative literacy and physical education, you really do have the freedom to chart your own path here. And in my experience, freedom in decision-making can be really exhilarating, and sometimes it can be completely intimidating. This is kind of a silly example, but I don't know if you ever have the experience that I do when I go to the grocery store and I think to myself, nobody needs this many choices of cereal. Like I don't, I don't know how to land on the best one. I don't know how to feel about the things that I'm missing. And think about on a deeper level, encountering a college catalog, encountering all the resources and opportunities that are available to you at a place like Hamilton. You know, the average student in college encounters less than 10% of what's in the college catalog. So how do you make sense of what's on offer? How do you make sure that you're making the choices that are right for you? And how do you feel like you can worry a little bit less about what you might be missing? And I think so in an open curriculum, a team of advisors is really a help in that situation. They can be a sounding board for you while you think through your decisions. The advisors are not here to tell you what to do. They're not here to make your decisions for you. But they can help facilitate that reflection process where you think about what you're passionate about, what your values are, what your great skills and talents are, the ones that you want to develop, how those intersect with the needs of the communities that you see around you, and kind of facilitate a process of discerning a path forward that's going to be really fulfilling for you, a unique path for you. And advisors are also here sometimes to give you a nudge to not settle for the easy route, but instead to kind of challenge yourself to really reach your potential. And so the structure is very intentional, but the heart of it is the people. Dan Chambliss, who is the sociology professor here, wrote a great book on how college works. That's what it's called. And he talks about the fact that programs only succeed because they bring the right people together. And I'm just really, really excited that we have so many of the right people here.
So that's good. And I think that really gives a kind of a broad overview of what students can expect. And we're going to dive into some of the nuts and bolts too, because, I know from a lot of questions that I get from prospective students and admitted students that, they really do have, kind of a lot of questions. What's the day-to-day going to be like for me? But we also get a lot of questions from students who look at the open curriculum and you kind of mentioned it earlier, right? There's a lot to look at. You look at that college catalog, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And a lot of students tell us when they apply and when we admit them, oh, I hope to major in biology, right? Or I'm thinking about going into theater, right? I'm looking at doing this or that. But in reality, I would say somewhere around half-ish, give or take, of our students actually end up changing their major before they declare their major at the end of their sophomore year. For some, that open curriculum can kind of be intimidating. How are we going to help guide? How does the ALEX program kind of help guide them if they're kind of unmoored, right? They don't necessarily know what they want to do.
Again, I think part of that is a process of just looking at, again, thinking about what you're really passionate about and why you are. Not only what you're good at now, but what you want to get good at and how that intersects with what's in that catalog. But I think the day-to-day, I'm going to let Janine start and talk about what this looks like when you actually sit down with one of these wonderful advisors.
Oh, thanks. I think that it's important to think about Hamilton as a place that's really good at helping you discover what you love from multiple avenues, whether it's academic or extracurricular, or even your time away from Hamilton and in career-related things. I think, as folks are making those decisions and choosing them, sometimes they think that there's a clear path that you have to take to have a certain outcome or career afterwards, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So I think really ALEX advisors are going to be first points of contact for students to help navigate some of those choices, to help navigate around to the different resources, to really uncover and learn about the different things that there are to do. And I'm happy to talk a little bit about how we think that'll look logistically in the first year of the program, and then also let my colleagues chime in on the topic in general. So
yeah, please do. Yeah.
You folks have the advantage of being the very first class to experience this, which means that we're going to learn and grow with you. Right. And figure out based on feedback as we go along exactly how this is going to work best for you. So we will be available over the course of the summer as a group to answer questions and connect. But we're really going to start delving in when the school year starts in the fall, knowing that at orientation, there's so much for you to experience and so much support will be some of those faces that are there and available for you. And as the semester launches in, we will be proactively reaching out with both formal and informal sessions. It might be, a lunch chat about a topic that has no, structured agenda, but is a chance to get to know us. And then some structured programs to help with discovering the resources, connecting to peers, reflecting on topics. And the core of what we do will be meeting with you folks individually. Now, whether or not you have to do that, I think you'll know we're there. We're going to be reaching out proactively. We'll know who we've chatted with at what points and try to guide you as to how we can help at different points in the year. We'll really encourage everyone to come see us a couple times a semester in some way, and hope to meet you where you are in the process, because not everyone is in the same place and needs the same things. So that's my beginning of that. But Hannah, do you want to jump in next?
Sure, I'll jump in a little bit on how we really complement the open curriculum. So as ALEX advisors, we really are the reflecting and connecting person for students. So we'll help students critically reflect on, things that you're doing inside of the classroom and outside of the classroom, and help you make those connections, sometimes across classes or across what you're doing in class or an experiential or a community-based learning opportunity. I know for myself as a transfer student to Hamilton, I absolutely loved the open curriculum because every person in every class really wanted to be in that class. And that just really created such a sense of community in the classroom that you could go deeper in on, as opposed to classes that people had to take, right? So there's really a lot of benefits to the open curriculum in that regard. And also just making those connections across classes between different disciplines. I know for myself, I was able to really draw connections and go deep on one theory or one subject across all 4 classes I was taking in a semester. And that really prepared me for graduate school, where you go really deep on one topic. So again, we really hope to be the connecting and reflecting people.
What do we've got a few folks in as participants tonight who are January admits, right? They're starting as in our January term. How might this look a little bit different for them, and when do we expect to start engaging with our Jan students?
So I can't speak from the point of view as someone who started in January, but Hannah will be able to speak to what it's like to start in the middle of a year. I'll say that I think we want to be available as soon as students know that they're going to Hamilton to chat, and we probably won't be reaching out super proactively and urging you to talk to us until you're starting your semester, but that doesn't mean that we're not highly available.
Good, thank you. So advising at Hamilton, even before the addition of the ALEX program, always took many forms, right? In addition to having an ALEX advisor that they're going to work with, students are also going to have at least one faculty advisor, right? Maybe 2 faculty advisors, depending on what their major is. And they're also going to have an advisor over at the Career Center. Can we talk a little bit about the roles of these different advisors, kind of where they overlap and where they're separate, and the kind of the integrated approach that ALEX takes to all of this?
I'm happy to speak to this, but I've talked a lot, so I want to give my colleagues a chance to jump in first. Sure. It's not unusual that I've talked a lot.
I will just start by saying, yes, we talk about ALEX as a network of advising, right? So it's these folks, your faculty, academic advisors, career advisors. Some of you will be applying for fellowships. Some of you are pre-health professions. There are advisors for these things as well. But in general, your faculty advisor is the one who's going to be guiding you in your academic program, right? They're going to be making sure that you're tracking your progress toward graduation. They're going to have you following the requirements of your concentration. They'll be the ones that approve you to register for courses semester by semester. If you have any academic difficulties, right, your advisor will be kind of your go-to person. Your career advisor guides you in thinking about that trajectory or potential trajectories after graduation, right? And help facilitate those career exploration processes on the way. So helping you with resume and cover letter writing, interview prep, networking, job shadowing, looking for internships, job search processes, and that kind of thing. And then again, I'll let the advisors chime in here again, but they're here for pretty much everything in between. You know, your faculty advisor is likely to change while you're at Hamilton. You'll have a pre-concentration advisor, and then when you declare your concentration or more than one concentration, you will get an advisor in that area. And sometimes, you know, faculty go on leave, they go on sabbatical and that kind of thing. But the goal is for your ALEX advisor to be there as a go-to person for your 4 years, as well as your career advisor. So part of this team is going to be with you from start to finish, ideally. While your faculty advisors may change as you move from program to program, career and ALEX advisors will be here throughout. So if anybody wants to talk more in depth about the role of the ALEX advisor and what you look forward to doing, jump in.
Sure. I can just jump in a little bit. I can say that our role in the team that Kathy was referring to with the advisors will be like the reflector piece and sort of the preflection piece in terms of helping you really understand why you want to go talk to some of these other offices, what they can do for you, how they can help, and maybe some of the questions that you'd want to ask when you get there.
I think it's also really important to think of us as a network of advisors and not isolated people with whom you will have an encounter and then have to explain everything and start from the beginning again with another person. We are building out a new technology around our advising so that it's easy for students to go to one place and make their appointments and for advisors to connect with each other around what's going on with that student as long as it's in the best interest of the student. And so I think that it could be daunting to have so many people helping you, but we hope to make it feel really seamless and like we're a team of people who is working together in your court.
I think they're sort of like a team of travel guides. You know, you're here to do exploration. You make your own map through an open curriculum. You know, we don't hand you a map and tell you which way to go. You're making your map and you have a team of explorers and guides with you along the way.
And when you're on campus, don't step on the campus map until you've graduated. That's
Very good. Very good. Sage advice. Yes, from an alumna. So a large part of the Hamilton experience is the experiential learning piece, right? The research that students do in and out of the classroom, the study abroad or study away opportunities that students have, right? Well, almost 2/3 of our students do study abroad or study away during their time here. It's all an important part of that Hamilton experience. Could some of you give some examples of some of these experiential learning opportunities and how ALEX advisors are going to end up working with students to identify and kind of guide them, right? You know, help them make that map and identify those opportunities and get connected.
I want to throw that one to Kevin because he did a lot of this.
Sure. So as being a part of experiential learning opportunities on campus was really integral in me getting an understanding of what I was passionate about and what I wanted to do in my career. So beginning with community service internships and then leading into summer research and Vista positions with the Levitt Center, it allowed me different perspectives of what I was passionate about. So I'm a Utican. I'm born and raised in Utica. If you don't know where it is, you will when you come to campus. So I've always been really proud of my city, and I always wanted to figure out different ways that I can help. And the resources at Hamilton allowed me different ways to do that. But one thing about Hamilton is that it's really dense with resources and really dense with opportunities. There's not a shortage of either. So whatever it is that you're interested in or that you want to do or that you're passionate about, or maybe you don't even know and you just want to explore, Hamilton's a great place to do that. So we'll be there to help you kind of figure out what it is that you want to experience, how you want to experience it, and how we can help you go about navigating that.
Great. One of the other goals of the new ALEX program is to help connect students with the different academic support resources that are on campus, right? The Writing Center comes to mind as one, right? A large majority of our students avail themselves of the services of the Writing Center when they're on campus, and the Writing Center is quite a popular place in that respect. But can you give maybe some examples of other resources available to students and how we hope that our ALEX advisors will help them make those connections?
Who's jumping in on that one?
Yeah, we have robust academic support services on campus, and we always try to remind students that it's receiving academic support. It doesn't mean remedial. It's helping you grow and become better from wherever you are. And as someone who went to the Writing Center for every single paper I wrote, while I was a student, it really made me a stronger writer. And I have to say, I know with the Writing Center, one thing that is really great, you can go to them wherever you are within the writing process. And the peer writing consultants, if you go to them and say, hey, I really need help coming up with an outline, or I have this first paragraph, wherever you are, you can have the whole paper written. They can help you. So it's cool that it's all about process with a lot of the academic resource centers. And I learned this past week that our oral communication center, even if you are a little uncomfortable with speaking in a class, you can go to the OCC, and that's one skill that they can help you with.
Right, not just public speaking like the formal sense, but just getting comfortable with class discussion and discourse and good listening. Yeah, again, Kevin was talking about the Hamilton is sort of dense with resources, and I think academic support is one of those areas. I'm an English professor in my former life before I became a dean, and so the Writing Center is always near and dear to my heart. But there is also the Oral Communication Center. There's the Quantitative and Symbolic Reasoning Center. So here on campus, it's quantitative literacy is not just about a math class, right? We have quantitative and symbolic reasoning courses across the curriculum, including in art and music, the humanities, in addition to STEM and math and computer science. There is a Center for Languages. There is a program providing support for in English for speakers of other languages. There is departmental tutoring. There are peer mentors and TAs in your courses. And it is true, the vast majority of students make great use of all of these resources. Sometime, even when you are a seasoned professional, it helps to have an editor. It helps to have an audience. It just helps to have a guide to not just help catch you up, but to help push you further. Right, to help challenge you to grow those key skills that you're going to need, regardless of what your concentration or your major ends up being.
Let's see, we've got a question here from our audience. Let's see, will all 8 advisors be accessible before the start of school? And if not, when will they be? Well, certainly not all 8, because we've only hired the 3 that you see, the 3 that you see here with us, along with Kathy. So the others will be hired as we bring in different incoming classes. So the rest are coming, but in general, what's the timeline when students should either start to feel comfortable reaching out themselves, or expect that they might see an email or some form of contact from our ALEX advising team?
The ALEX advisors are certainly part of the transition, right, from high school to college. So over the summer, we work with Tessa Shafalo, who coordinates the first year experience and new student orientation. And so we'll be coordinating with her about when advisors will be reaching out to all of you and getting reintroduced. That will probably happen mid-May. Advisors will be available to help you with any questions that you have over the summer, whether that's about the advising tour, new student checklist information. And again, if there are answers they don't have, they're the hubs who can help you find out who does have those answers. And then later in the summer, each of you will find out which advisor you are assigned to. And if you have reached out during the summer and developed a relationship and want to request an advisor, you can probably do that. And then they'll start working with you in earnest once the semester begins.
I think one important thing to tack on to what Kathy said is, there's going to be a lot of communications. Once you tell us you've decided that you want to come to Hamilton, please check your email frequently. And eventually you will get a hamilton.edu email address, and please start checking that frequently too, because so much of the information that we send you will be emailed, right? We're really not sending a whole lot of paper or packets to your homes, because people move, people travel, people do different things during the summer, and email is always the best way to get in touch with you. And that's how we will be communicating all of the important pieces of this transition going forward for you. So I do want to see if we have any more questions from our audience. I've got a few more questions I would like to pose our panelists, but before I do, I just want to open it up and see if there's any questions in the chat that we can answer for you. So we have somebody who wants to know how our students split among the three advisors. How do we foresee students being split among the three advisors that we have now? Is it alphabetical or to
No,
be
I think
determined?
we are wanting to do a kind of random assignment. Advisors are intended to be cross-trained and able to work with any student. We want to be sure that should an advisor say go on maternity leave or something, that someone will be there to step in, who knows that student and knows how to help them. So it'll be random assignment, and that's the plan so far.
Okay.
I will be back from maternity leave for your arrival, I promise.
Yes.
Specific case here in mind, yes.
In,
We did have another question in the chat that I thought would be good to answer live too. Even I think my colleague did respond, but I thought it would be good for others who may not have seen it. Is can a student do both study abroad and study away? And the answer is yes. That happens quite a bit, where somebody will go study abroad, maybe do one of our programs in Spain, France or China, and then come back for a semester, and then go off and do the New York City program, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. That's a great time to work closely with your team of advisors to make sure that you're prepped to do that, and that the courses that you're taking while you study away or study abroad are ones that will be sure to transfer back easily. And
right. Yep. Yeah. Very, very important, and especially for our students in the pre-health
Yep.
pre-health majors, getting all of those things all the stars and planets to align perfectly for those credits. I think that's something that the team of ALEX advisors, your faculty advisor, and your career advisor are going to really help bring it all together for you.
Right. And although we have our generalist hub advisors here tonight, if those of you thinking about pre-health professions, we have the wonderful Leslie Bell, who has many years of experience in helping shepherd students through that process.
So I've got a series of kind of fun questions I'd like to take you all through, because you are all kind of at different stages of Hamilton. We've got a couple of alums here. Janine, you've been here for quite a while. Kathy, you're fairly new. So everybody is coming at this from a different lens, which I think is always fun. But these are intended to be kind of quick answers. I just want to see where everybody's at with things. But what is your favorite building on campus and why? Anybody can start. We're going to get all of you.
I have to say, I've only been in about 3 of the buildings on campus because I started here in the middle of this pandemic. My favorite place on campus is here. It's in the Root Glen, which is pictured behind me. Wonderful trails to walk, beautiful in all seasons. So I don't know about building yet, but the Root Glen is definitely my happy place.
I'll piggyback on that and say that my favorite building is adjacent to the Glen. It's the Glen House, which is the home of outdoor leadership programs. And it's got an amazing, what they kind of call a great room with beanbag chairs and couches and whatnot. And then a deck out back and a lot of land and some hammocks out there on the deck. So it's a space I really enjoy.
And it's a great place to get gear. I rented snowshoes over winter break.
They ran all sorts of good stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite building is the events barn. It just always holds a special place in my heart. Before I was a student at Hamilton, when I was in high school, actually, I went to see Richie Havens, a great folk musician, at an acoustic coffee house concert. And the acoustic coffee houses were a thing that I'd love to attend. And it's just such a great building, great space, great lighting, great acoustics, and a lot of great memories there.
Yeah, I would second the events barn, but for me personally, I would say probably KJ. The Kerner Johnson building. It's a building I spent the most time in. It's really aesthetically pleasing. It has like a waterfall inside and stuff like that. But it's a great space for like teamwork. And there's the red pit, the auditorium, so you can take it over, watch football games while you're doing work on Sundays or something like that. So that was one of my favorite buildings.
See, we got a couple of questions that got popped into the chat here while we were talking. Let me see if I can go back and find them. So what, and this might be a little hyper specific, but I think it's probably good because I know this is on the minds of a lot of our students. From what does a first year schedule look like, and how does that get built for students?
Well, students help build it, first of all, by going through the advising tour. Part of that tour is students kind of getting a sense of what the very few graduation requirements are in addition to your concentration and the way that we want to, we'll have you thinking about disciplines and fields that you're interested in, but also disciplines and fields that you've never been exposed to that you might want to explore, and take that kind of reflection and choose 12 classes that you think you might like. And we would encourage you to make one of those a first year course, a first year designated course. There are quite a few courses each semester where it's only first year students who are allowed to register for those. And it can be a really good community. And those courses have peer mentors assigned to them as well. And then from those 12, the registrar will work individually on each student's schedule and try to put together a schedule of 4 classes that guarantees that you will get a breadth of course offerings, so more than one discipline, right? That you will get probably a writing instructive course or a quantitative course in there. They'll make sure that you haven't loaded yourself up with 3 or 4 labs in one semester. They'll make sure you have time for lunch. And then they'll settle you on a schedule of 4 courses that from among the 12 that you chose. And then when you come to campus, you will have a chance to meet with your faculty academic advisor to go over that schedule. And then if you want to make any tweaks to it, you will work with that person to do that then, right before classes start.
Great. I think that level of detail is helpful for a lot of our students who are kind of wondering, well, okay, now what? What's next? And
how does this work?
Yeah, how does this all come together?
Yeah.
So
I'll piggyback on that for a moment, because I think that one of the big questions to folks is, okay, so I have an academic advisor, and how does that work with my ALEX advisor? And just some of the ways that we envision, while not being your academic advisor, us working on some of the same topics, is so each subsequent semester, students will go to their academic advisor with some courses that they have in mind, and they'll choose their course selection, and that person will be the person to approve their courses. But I often find that students don't necessarily know where to get started on that. Right. And so a lot of conversations with students might be around us helping coach them on connecting with other students, exploring what happens in different departments, kind of prompting the exploration and question asking process, and then having them come back to us and reflect on what they learned. We won't be, necessarily telling them, oh, this course will be best for that, but we'll be helping them seek information and put the pieces together alongside their academic advisor, who's actually the, check mark approver.
And I think too, sometimes it's, if as a student, you're thinking about potentially changing your area of study, it can feel, if, I'm going back to my own college days when I changed my major halfway through, that's a story for another time, that it can be kind of intimidating to go to the faculty in the department you've been in. They've gotten to know and love you. And you say, I think I might want to study something else. Sometimes it's easier to have that conversation first with a person who's not your faculty member, right? But a person who can help you think about how to have that conversation in a productive way. So there's all kinds of roles that I think the ALEX advisors will come to fulfill, and it'll be unique to every student's experience.
Got a question here about not your ALEX advisor, but your that first advisor you get, that first academic advisor. How are you paired up with that academic advisor, right? We know that when you declare major, declare concentration, you get an advisor in that area. Can you talk a little bit about the kind of that first academic advisor that they're going to interface with when they come to campus?
Yeah, similarly, it's based in part on what you say you might be interested in studying. So we want you to have a faculty member who is knowledgeable about that area. Sometimes that will be a first-year course instructor that you've chosen, not always, but it could be. And again, the registrar takes a look at what you say in your advising tour about your interests and tries to assign an advisor that's most appropriate for your interests from that. And it's also possible, if you need to change an academic advisor. So if you think you know what you're wanting to major in, and you put that in the advising tour, and you get to August and you think, I've totally changed my mind, I need somebody else to help me, all you have to do is let us know, and we can make a switch.
And that is not something to be panicked about or worried about, because it happens all the time. And you are not alone if you say, you know, I don't think I want that anymore. I think I want something else. Completely
Sometimes
fine.
you don't.
Yep.
There are whole fields out there that you don't know exist.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the great part about going to a liberal arts college, is that it preps you for literally anything that you might want to do after graduation. Most of the things our graduates from the class of 2025 are going to go on and do are jobs with titles that don't exist yet. So if you're choosing a liberal arts college, bravo, because it's the best prep for that kind of existence that there is.
Yeah, absolute job and career security going forward forever. Yes. A little bit about the advising tour. We've talked about the advising tour that is part of that transition between high school and college. Can you talk a little bit about the timing of that, and what students might need to do to prepare for that advising tour?
Anybody else want to field that one? People have been hearing way too much from me. I think the timing is early June. So you will be getting an email in May about that advising tour and the checklist of all the things that new students need to do and submit. And I think you are to complete that by mid-June. And I was talking last fall with a group of first-year students and explaining this new ALEX program that we were starting this year. And one of them said, it sure would have been great just to have kind of a responsible adult to call while I'm going through my advising tour, not to tell me what to do, but just somebody that I know is there to reach out to while I'm in the middle of it if I need it.
All right, let's jump back and take a couple of fun questions. This one I like a lot. You could always tell a lot about people by where they want to go eat on campus. What's your favorite food or favorite place to grab a bite when you're on campus? It's a hard one, I know.
My go-to is Euphoria for bubble tea. And so Euphoria is within the Sadov Student Center, and it was, I think, the first place that I ate on campus. And so I don't do meals there that often, but I will frequently go for bubble tea.
If I'm just grabbing something quick, it's definitely the diner. If I'm having to sit down, then it'll be McEwen.
Yeah, I'm with Kevin. Like, for me, hands down, the diner. The Tuscan chicken sandwich, phenomenal. Also Angel, who works in the diner, great people to say hello to. And there's a jukebox, which is always fun. Back when Kevin and I were there were CDs, but now it's one of those digital ones. But always fun.
And again, I don't know yet. I have to say, I am intrigued by the brunch emails I keep getting from Opus. I have not had brunch at Opus yet, but they make it sound really, really amazing.
They write the best emails, don't they?
They do. They are the most enticing emails. I mean, I've never heard avocado toast sound so good before. But I have to say, I'm a fan of diner food as well. So I'm sure I will frequent the diner.
Just wait until you encounter the mango brie panini at Opus.
Thursday.
I did have great banh mi. When I was here for my interview, I had a great banh mi from Opus. It was wonderful.
The lines are long though for Mango Brie Panini Day.
Chicken parm sandwich at the diner for me, or close second is the cheesy naan over at Opus too. But that's another long line situation. Like you've got to time that just right to know you're going to be waiting in line a little bit to get that cheesy naan. So I've got another question from our attendees. So the Alex program is new, obviously, and a lot of this is going to be built out as we start advising the first class. But can we talk a little bit about ways that students can give feedback about their experience with the Alex program, and how it can kind of adapt or change as you figure out what students' needs are?
Yes, they're already doing that, and I'm going to let you all talk about how.
I'm happy to jump in first. One of the strategies that we're using right now is to involve student interns as an integral part of building and developing the program, getting feedback from their peers, sharing ideas with us. That's something we hope to continue to do and really have a representation from different class years and different parts of campus in our intern staff. That's certainly not, we can't have, 2,000 interns. So that's certainly not the only way that we'll be looking for feedback from students, and we'll be looking to assess things as we go, which my colleagues might want to chime in a little bit on some options for assessing as we go.
Yeah, definitely. As we're going through the process of the initial stages of building the curriculum and things like that, we're thinking of ways, trying to be creative about how we can assess the things that we're trying to work on. We really want your feedback, but not just in the same old ways. Like, we don't want to just keep sending out surveys and hope that you let us know. So just finding different ways to get you maybe to talk to us, come in the office, interact with us, and then let us know what it is that we're doing right, what it is that we may need to do more of, how we can fill the gaps. The program will be as great as the students make it. Like, we're always there to help, we're always there, but we need you to let us know what we can do to help you.
All right, let's see. Thinking back, what was the system like before Alex? And what are we hoping to change by adding this Alex program to our advising roster here?
I'm happy to speak to that.
I was going to say, I wasn't here
you
before
weren't here,
Alex,
she was.
but
just, from the impetus of building the program was really knowing that Hamilton had amazing resources for students. And sometimes they would feel like they were competing for students' attention. Students would feel like they had so many options that they were maybe being bounced around a little bit, or didn't know who to go to for what. And so this program, as we started thinking about what solutions to this might be, we started thinking about both bringing together processes and offices and kind of integrating roles so that students could have a central point at which they said, hey, there's too much to navigate. Where do I go first, and who's the best person, and how do I get to this information? And so, I would say that Hamilton has for a long time had tremendously good advising, but it sometimes has been hard for students to navigate it and get the best out of it. So this hopefully bridges the gap so that students can really make the most out of the various advisors and experiences that there are.
Right. I think about this as an equity initiative, right? I think about, and it could be the kind of student that I was, very much a first-gen student. My parents did not know how to help me navigate college. I came to college, I didn't know what a registrar was. And I was very smart. I was a great student, definitely belonged at my college, but didn't feel like I could let on what I didn't know. And like Hannah said, I could very much have benefited from an Alex advisor. And in talking to alumni, I was also talking to alumni who are on the advisory committee for this initiative. And he said, I wasn't that student. My parents, my grandparents went to college. I was very well connected. And even I got to my junior and senior year and discovered that there were opportunities I had missed, things I hadn't heard about, that it was then too late to take advantage of. So it's not just a matter of being first gen, right? Any student could come in and need some assistance with navigating these opportunities. And I think given the focus of the faculty advisor really on your academic program, right? Your career advisor on helping you think about that trajectory after. It's nobody else's full-time job to help you with everything in the middle. And that's what's really distinctive, I think, about this program. Every college has advisors of some kind, right? Some of them have faculty do it all. Some have professional advisors do it all and not have faculty in the mix. And Hamilton is unique in giving you both of those things, right? You have a faculty academic advisor and you have somebody whose full-time job it is to be that hub, to be that go-to, to be that first touch point for you. I can say I've had a lot of experience looking at sort of higher education broadly, and this is just a rare thing to have a college put the resources into advising that Hamilton is.
Another question here. I think I've got time for one more, and then we'll start to wind down. But and I think Janine, you might be the target for this one. But can you talk a little bit about the co-op programs with law and or with engineering and how that works at Hamilton and where Alex comes into play for those?
So we have amazing faculty members who work with specific co-op programs. The engineering ones come to mind, and so we're able to refer students to them. But with this new program and with the new technology around it, I think we'll be better able to communicate between those programs and someone's generalist advisor to help them make choices that will make them a great fit for that program. Honestly. I'll let Kathy or others chime in if they have more to say about those particular programs.
I think that's just a great place for Alex advisors and faculty advisors to collaborate.
All right, well, I've got one last question for everybody, again, kind of one of these round robin fun things. Can you give a quick piece of advice for our students as they are getting ready to make this big leap in their life, right? This big transition from high school to college, either maybe what did you wish you knew back when, or something based on your professional experience that you say, oh, I wish more students knew about this, you know, from all of you, and whoever would like to kind of jump in first and give their advice.
I'm going to go last.
I'll go first. I would say my advice is when you get to Hamilton, I mean, it's such a great place and it's easy not to leave the hill, but my advice is leave the hill. I'm a Central New York native. I'm from here, but go to Utica, go to a refugee-owned restaurant, go to Munson Williams, to the art museum. There's just so much happening in Central New York. So that's my advice. Do as much on the hill, but also try to leave the hill and see and be a part of the greater community at large.
Great advice.
I would say from my side, given that Hamilton is a highly reputable institution, and it's really well resourced and everything, sometimes coming from certain situations, it could be a little bit daunting. So never be afraid to ask questions and sort of know that you've earned it. You made it to Hamilton, you were accepted, you made it there. So kind of live in the moment and know that you're doing something.
I think what I'd say is try not to give into the pressure of being decided. If you can, be proud of exploring things and being open-minded, because the sooner you're able to articulate how great the things are that you're exploring, the more confident you'll be in doing it. And some of that is being able to go home to your family and say, yeah, I don't know what my major is yet, but look at these great courses I'm taking and how they might fit together and what I might like here and how carefully I'm making these decisions along the way. I know it's so much easier to just say something when someone asks you the question, but that growing comfort with actually articulating what you know so far and what you want to know is really helpful.
I'm going to take a dean privilege and give two. The first one is do mind the gap. There really is a gap between high school and college, no matter how good your high school is. right? There is a gap. So don't be surprised by that. Don't be surprised when you're challenged more than you have been before. And that's okay. That's to be expected. That means we're doing our jobs. High challenge, low threat. That's what we offer, right? Lots of challenge, but lots of support to help you through that challenge. And I will echo what Kevin said. I want you to try as hard as you can to just feel this in your bones, right? Live into this truth. And that is that you belong here. You belong here.
Thank you all for your time tonight, for your words of wisdom here as we close, and for talking about and sharing about your hopes for what this ALEX program is going to grow into here shortly. I know you're all very excited to get started and very excited for this first cohort to join us soon. So
I can't wait to really have students in this program.
I know up until this point, it's all been hypothetical. They're all going to come at some point, but it's just all the building and waiting and the anticipation, so that they will be here with us shortly. So to all of my participants tonight, thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending this hour with us, learning more about the open curriculum and our new ALEX advising program. I do want to give a short plug for a couple of more Hamilton Hangouts that are happening this week that you can go online and register for. We have one tomorrow night is Hamilton Hangout focused on athletics and wellness. We will have I believe we'll have a coach there. We'll have a couple of student athletes. We'll have somebody from Hamilton's wellness department to talk about athletics and wellness initiatives on campus. And then on Thursday night, both these are at 7 o'clock Eastern time, by the way. And then on Thursday night, we have a Find Your Future Careers After Hamilton panel with some folks from Hamilton's Career Services Center. So hamilton.edu/explore, that's the Explore Hamilton page. That's where you will register for those. So if you haven't already, please go over there, register, join us on Wednesday and Thursday night at 7 o'clock for those. And for more information about the ALEX program, hamilton.edu/ALEX. Go check out the website. There's some resources there for you already that kind of breaks down what ALEX is and how ALEX will fit into your academic and other lives at when you come to Hamilton. So again, thank you very much for spending this portion of your afternoon, evening, depending on where you are, with us. It was a pleasure to speak with all of you, and have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.